Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Etho, and welcome back, guys, to another episode of our Let's Play series. So, yep, we are rocking the 17W06A snapshot now. It just came out. The very first of the 1.12 snapshots is here, and with it, let's get this going. 48 new types of blocks. Well, it's 3 types of blocks, but 16 colors of each. So we got the concrete powder, we got concrete, and we got terracotta, glazed terracotta blocks. So to get the glazed terracotta, we need to smelt hardened clay. Yes, that's a wonderful sound, isn't it? That might be a problem. Look at that, it's green glazed terracotta. I really like the black stuff, guys. I think that's my favorite out of the 16. But we'll get these. I got to get a bunch of blocks together here today so we can start building with them and having fun. Okay, Mr. Sheep, I know you're curious about the new blocks, but you're worse than taxes. All right, get out of here. Yeah, so I thought we would lay these out first, guys, and just take a look at them in case you haven't seen them yet, and you're curious what they're like. They're very bright and vibrant and full of life, aren't they? It's going to be quite the game changer as far as building goes in this game, I think, because we didn't have a lot of vibrant colors in this game before. Like maybe prismarine, purple blocks. Some of the clay colors are pretty bright, and the wool and stuff. But yeah, well, I guess that's quite a few blocks. But now we got like 48 new ones, and the wool is a lot brighter. To kind of go along with the new colors. It's going to be interesting. I don't think people are going to build the same way anymore, because previously most of our builds are some kind of gray color, like a stone. Then you got your earth tones, like the wood and stuff, browns and greens, and those are the main building blocks in Minecraft. And now we have all these bright, vibrant things. And the cool thing about them is they are directional as well. So depending on which way you place them, changes the rotation, and you can combine them together and create all sorts of cool textures and patterns and stuff. It's going to be interesting. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with them myself, but maybe we'll try to do some building today. Oh, I never noticed that. There's creeper faces in those. I just noticed that. That's awesome. Uh-huh. This one reminds me of a sword when I see it, and that's like the mouse pointer. Okay, let's try something out here first off. I know you can instant mine these with haste 2. We got haste 2 right now and efficiency 5 on this thing. Just like clay, you can instant mine it, which is awesome. Makes it a lot easier to fix your mistakes and stuff. But we're going to change our beacon here to haste 1. See, and you can't instant mine with it. Okay, so it's not quite like hardened clay. And something really worth noting about these terracotta blocks is when you build with them, you're probably going to want to build with even numbers. Like if you're using them in your floor or in your wall, because the texture aligns on the edges of the blocks and not in the center of the block, that means you have this weird thing where you have like one big circle and a half circle. With this as your center, if you're building with odd numbers, doesn't look quite right, right? But if you go by 2s or 4s or 6s, then you're fine. If you're rotating the blocks. If you're not rotating them, it's not as big of an issue. Okay, so I just tried out a little bit of building with the terracotta blocks, and yeah. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to see what other people do with them first to steal some building tricks or whatever, because like I find they really don't mix well with a lot of the existing blocks in the game. Like, that doesn't look good. They look cool on their own, but then when you do a big cluster of them together, I'm not sure I like it either, though. Yeah, I think the trick with these terracotta blocks is we're going to want to use them sparingly. Not like big clusters of them, but just little bits here and there. Will probably look good, but going to need to practice using them because I don't know what to do with them, honestly. So we're going to move on to the concrete powder. This is a block I'm going to be using tons of. I think everybody is. Out of all the blocks introduced, the powder is probably the real winner in this update. So yeah, the way you make it, you take your dye as we just did there. You need gravel and you need sand. Dye goes in the middle, gravel, and sand. And you get 8 each crafting. Yeah, so you only need 8 dye to make a stack of this stuff. Okay, I did not realize this. It's actually a shapeless crafting recipe. So that's awesome. You can put the gravel or sand in there however you want in the dye, and it'll craft it up. Okay, that's cool. Okay, guys, here's the big moment. Can we do it? Can we do it? No! Oh, no. Cannot instant mine concrete blocks. Ah, it's too bad. I like it whenever you can instant mine a block in this game. It's just so much more enjoyable, right? Or if you make a mistake, you don't have to worry about cleaning up afterwards. Oh, well. I made a stack of each of the concrete powders here, guys, so we can check them out here. 16 colors in total, and they're also pretty bright, vibrant blocks. Very similar to sand blocks, like a similar texture, and like sand blocks, they also have gravity. But when they touch the water, or if water touches them, they convert into concrete. So that's how you get the concrete blocks, which have a very smooth texture, which is going to be hard to use with, like, most blocks in Minecraft. But it's good for, like, pixel art or things like that, I think, right? Maybe some unique builds could take advantage of them. I did notice, though, even though they have a similar texture to sand, like if you look at sand, has these 2 dots over here. If you look at orange sand, it also has those 2 dots, just a different color, right? These, though, they have their own unique texture. And even between each of the colors, each one has its own different noise pattern or texture, which is kind of cool, right? They're not all the same. These are going to be really, really good in the game, though, because you can use them for so many different things. Like, let's say you want to use them for flooring, right? Or for paths, not a problem. I would even argue that the texture on these blocks is nicer than the wool texture, right? I think people are going to use this as carpeting in their builds instead of wool, just because it looks better than wool, in my opinion. Yeah, it's a nice block, and you can use it for walls. Why not, right? It has a nice texture to it, so why not use it like as wallpaper or as paint? Sure. Looks great, I think. Here, let's go ahead and sleep real quick. And a lot of the blocks can blend well with the existing blocks in the game, which is really the important thing, I think. Like, let's say you wanted to make a path, right, out of the brown concrete powder here. It kind of looks like mud, I find. Looks like mud, mixes well with grass because it's got a little bit of a grainy texture to it. Also mixes well with dirt, which is a nice plus. Can be another filler block in your path or things like that. Also for terraforming, like let's say you want to make a volcano in this game. Didn't have a lot of black blocks before, mainly just coal, right? And cyan clay. Now you have like this beautiful black texture, or if you want to make a black sand beach, you can do that sort of thing now. So there's a lot of options here. Like mixing this with magma blocks and lava could look like a volcano. Lots of unique things like that are possible now. Let's say you want to make an alien world with crazy blue grass or something. You can pass this off as grass, kind of, or some super bright grass over here, or you know, lots of options, lots of cool things you can do with this stuff. So I'm very excited about that. I did also notice, like I placed a few of them together here. The dots here are the same position on each of these, so they don't rotate or anything. I have that configured or on right now. Like if you look at the grass blocks, they all have a different rotation. Oh yeah, I set this up so we can check out the different concrete blocks as well. So let's change this over. So like sand, you can do the floating sand trick with it, and it seems to have particles. Yeah, I didn't expect that. Is it always black though? It's not the color of the block. Huh. That might change later. But yeah, basically you do that, and it turns into concrete. So I looked on the Reddit. Some people have found very simple ways of farming these concrete blocks already. It sounds like all you gotta do is have like a water stream or water somewhere, and if you select your powder and your pick, you put it in your other bar, right? And then I think you just gotta right and left click at the same time. Oh, wait a sec. Wait a sec. We probably also need a way to prevent you from placing it. I wonder if we could just use a torch here, so it doesn't like place it forward. Let's try that again. Yeah, just right and left click. Hold it down. And if you feed yourself the powder with dispensers or something, then you could keep it going forever. And just AFK as you make this stuff. That's pretty cool. Put a hopper below the block so it'll pick it up too. That's not too bad actually, right? I think that looks pretty good. Maybe not the blue wool for the border. We might need something with more contrast. But I do like this blue concrete powder here. Yeah, I think we're going to go ahead with this. What can we call this concrete powder, by the way? Because concrete powder doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. It is like C.pow. Kind of stupid. I need some blue C.pow. Yeah, we got to think of a short form, though, because concrete powder is going to be tough to say constantly. Uh-huh. I also noticed, while doing this, I accidentally... Well, I was trying colors out, and I put some light gray C.pow next to the clay. And very closely colored. You could use those two together for sure, which is cool. That's a good sign. Whenever you mix things like that, it means it's going to be pretty useful. This is what it looked like before. We just had light blue clay with regular clay. And now we have the C.pow. So it's a good texture. Like if you put a bunch of it together, it doesn't look bad. I don't think anyways. I'm curious what you guys have to say about this. But I think it looks pretty good. It's a good color, good texture. Blends well with the wool here if we're going to keep it. Maybe too well. Maybe not enough contrast. I also changed out the blue shiny rocks here with the light blue concrete powder. Okay, I just had a silly idea for an experiment, guys. We are going to do a physics test. Get rid of these. Make our floating concrete. So if we're standing on this and it drops, as soon as it touches the water down there, it's going to turn into solid concrete. So if we're standing on top of this, are we going to hit the water or are we going to hit the concrete block after it forms? Let's find out. Here we go. Oh, we fall through it. Okay. So we beat it down, actually. That's interesting. Okay, how about this one, guys? What if we have a fence and we drop a bunch of concrete powder on top of it? What happens when they hit the water? Does just one block convert? Do they all convert? Do some of them break into item entities? I'm not sure. Let's find out. Maybe we'll throw some sand in there just for some chaos as well. I don't know if it'll affect it or not. Probably not. Okay, there we go. Put these in there too. So now if we break the fence... Okay, so it looks like... Yeah, they turned into item entities, most of them. Probably. One of them fell on top of the concrete block. And only one turned into concrete itself. I got another one for you here. This one's a really weird one. So we're going to have floating concrete powder. Oh, you know, I should move this back one more block. Yeah, floating concrete powder. We're going to run water underneath it, right? So the water's going to update it so it falls, but it's also going to touch the block. So what happens first? Does it fall or does it convert? We're going to find out. If it falls, it should turn into concrete one block lower. If it just converts, it should stay in the same place. I think it fell and converted, right? I expected them both to go, but I guess it converted before the water went any further, right? Now there's also a little bit of an oddity with this. So if we put a water source block below it, check out what happens. It almost looks like it teleports, but maybe it's just falling very quickly. But it destroys the water block without turning into concrete. It's still the powder form, which is kind of cool. But I bet you, if we remove the block below, it'll be different, right? Okay, so let's not put the glass block back over here where it was, and then we will put the water over here. How does it destroy it then? It should fall through the water source block. Huh. That I did not expect. Okay, are you ready for this, guys? We're going to do some sponge physics next. So if you have a sponge, you place a water bucket next to it, turns into a wet sponge, right? So what happens if you place it by a sponge and also by a concrete block? You see where I'm going with this? Not concrete block, concrete powder. So that's concrete powder. We're going to put it right between the two. It does both. So that turned to concrete, and the sponge absorbed it. Okay, where was that sponge? It was over here, right? I think it might be positional. Because if we have a sponge here, and we place the water, it turns into a wet sponge. These don't convert, though. If we do the same over here, 2 of them converted, 1 of them didn't. Yeah, so it's definitely based on where it is in the chunk, I'm pretty sure. Probably the greatest thing about having all these different bright colors, though, is we can finally juggle the proper way. Here we go. So many colors. That's amazing. Unfortunately, though, it doesn't last forever. Anyways, guys, I think we're going to have to wrap up the episode here for today, unfortunately. I don't know how or why, but I strained my voice recording here. Like, I can really feel it now. And I probably shouldn't talk anymore. Having a hard time enunciating words, too. Enunciating. Okay, so here's the comment of the day. It says, raise your hand if you didn't know mushrooms could even be used as fuel. I think it was maybe 1 or 2 updates ago, Mojang, maybe even longer, but Mojang recently changed it so you can burn a whole bunch of different things in the furnace, including like wool and banners and some stuff you wouldn't expect. Most of it is not good fuel efficiency, though, for the cost. Mushroom blocks are an exception, I would say, but you're generally best burning planks or mushroom blocks, coal, your general fuel. In Pocket Edition, though, I found out the slabs have the same fuel efficiency as planks, so you should definitely convert them because you get double that way. But that's not the case in Computer Edition. PC. So some interesting oddities with the fuel stuff. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. If you have any comments or feedback or ideas on how to use the new blocks, feel free to leave in the comments below. But hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.